The night was cold, and the sound of thunder rolled across the small village of Edera. The trees swayed, whispering secrets to the wind as raindrops began to fall softly at first, then harder, until the entire village was drenched in silver rain. In a small, crumbling hut by the edge of the forest, a girl named Ella stood barefoot, holding an old bucket in her trembling hands. Her dress was torn, her eyes heavy with tiredness, yet her heart was gentle, too gentle for the kind of life she lived. Her stepmother's voice echoed in her mind, sharp and cruel like broken glass. "Don't you dare come back here until that drum is full. Do you hear me?" Ella had nodded quietly then, even though her body ached from all the chores of the day. Washing, sweeping, cooking, she did it all. And yet, it was never enough. Her stepmother always found something to complain about, something to punish her for. Now, as the rain poured down heavily, Ella stood by the stream, shivering. The water was freezing, but she knelt down and began to fill her bucket anyway. One by one, she filled them, emptying them into the small drum she carried. Her hands were numb, her dress clung to her skin, the road home was far. Still, she didn't stop. By the time she lifted the last bucket, darkness had fallen. The village paths were quiet, and lightning flashed in the distance. She balanced the heavy bucket on her head and began the long walk home under the pouring rain. Her feet slipped on the muddy path, and her heart raced with fear, not of the storm, but of what her stepmother would say if she returned too late or with less water. As she walked, she whispered softly to herself, her voice shaking, "Please, God, just let me reach home before she starts shouting again." Suddenly, a flash of light blinded her, not lightning this time, but headlights. A car was speeding down the narrow path, its tires splashing water in every direction. Ella froze. The bucket slipped from her hands, crashing to the ground. The car screeched to a stop just inches from her. She fell backward, trembling, as the water from her bucket mixed with the rain and mud. The car door opened, and a tall young man stepped out, holding an umbrella. His clothes were neat, his eyes sharp and kind, but filled with surprise. "What are you doing here?" he shouted over the storm, his voice deep and worried. "Beautiful girl, why are you walking under the rain at this time of the night?" Ella looked up, rain running down her face like tears. She wanted to speak, but her voice broke. I went to fetch water," she whispered. "My stepmother said I can't come home until I fill the drum, but the bucket," she glanced at the broken pieces beside her. "It fell." Her lips trembled, and her body shook with fear. She tried to pick up the broken pieces of the bucket, as if fixing it would fix her situation. The young man knelt beside her. For a moment, he said nothing. He just watched this fragile girl under the storm, trying to hold her world together with shaking hands. "Enough," he said softly. "You'll get sick, come with me." She shook her head quickly. "No, she'll beat me if I go home late. Please, I have to finish the water." He frowned, confused and concerned. "Who will beat you?" "My stepmother," she whispered, looking down. "She doesn't like me." The young man's heart tightened. He had seen suffering before, but something about this girl, her quiet pain, her gentle eyes even through tears, touched him deeply. He took off his jacket and placed it over her shoulders. "You can't stay out here. I'll take you home safely." As they stood, lightning illuminated his face. The royal emblem on his jacket gleamed faintly in the dark. But Ella didn't notice. She didn't know who he was, that this man, with kindness in his eyes, was the young prince of Edera. All she knew was that, for the first time in a long while, someone had spoken to her gently. Someone cared that she was cold, that she was scared. And that moment, under the storm, beside the broken bucket, was the beginning of something neither of them would ever forget. Because sometimes, even in the darkest nights, kindness finds its way through the rain.